Israelites. SHALAM. Let a Hebrew speak. Let a Hebrew speak with General Hazayan.
You know what? You got nasty taste in your mouth, and you gotta spit it out. That's how God feels about everybody that is not an Israelite.
And Captain Akkad.
And crack and heroin and abortion clinics and Christianity is inequity, man.
Let a Hebrew speak. Christianity is a lie. Talk the truth. Let a Hebrew speak. The white man is the devil. Talk the truth.
To be careful not making a mistake.
Let a established since 1969. Hebrew speak. We raising our people from the dust. Talk the truth. General Hazayan. Talk the truth. That's right. Cry aloud. Captain Akkad. Talk the truth. Let a Hebrew speak. Tune in every Mondays from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Let a Hebrew speak.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Brakatham. Shalak Shema Alatah Ba'Shem Yahushua to the sisters. You know, this is Let a Hebrew Speak under Commander General Yahanna. All right. Today we're going to go into the history of the hatred of Rome has for the children of Israel. And this is during the time of Christ. But it was right after the Maccabees or the Hashmoneans. All right, we're going to go into the first book of Maccabees first. And we're going to show you how Rome got really invited because the Israelites, or I should say the Maccabees, started to fall a little weak. They were strong brothers and they fought against the Greeks, but the Greeks kept pressuring them and they just went to help from the Romans, which is the same white people, which is the same thing black people do today with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. We always running to the white man. Right. We always running to the heathens. And the Lord said, make no league with any heathen nation. Right. Go ahead.
First Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 1. Start at 1, right?
Yeah. That's fine.
Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them.
Right. So the Romans, they started coming up in the earth after the Greek Empire. Right. The Greek Empire was starting to get weak, and Judas heard about these Romans, and what he knew about the Romans was you can get the Romans to become a confederate under the Romans, and the Romans would fight with you.
Right.
Read on.
And make a league of amity with all that came unto them.
Right. Anybody that came up to Rome, and you can make a league, and he'll be like, come on, we'll accept you, we'll protect you, as long as you fight in our wars.
Right.
Same thing what the mafia do when they take your business over. They'll invite you, I got you, don't worry about it, I'm gonna protect your business. The next thing you know, they have taken, override or overtook your business.
Right.
Well, the Romans was just the same thing.
Just like America too.
Just like America.
Fight for them.
When you invite America, they coming in there, just the white man in general.
Right.
You go seek his help, he's stealing everything, and then he gonna control your whole nation, and he gonna corrupt your whole nation.
And that they were men of great valor. It was told him also of their wars.
Right. The Romans was blessed with that sword too, just like the Greeks. Go ahead.
And noble acts which they had done among the Galatians, and how they had conquered them and brought them under tribute.
Right. He heard about them beating the Greeks. Go ahead.
And what they had done in the country of Spain.
And in Spain, because the Roman Empire started to stretch out.
Right.
Go ahead.
For the winning of the mines of silver and gold, which is there, and that by their policy and patience they had conquered all the place, though it were very far from them. And the kings also that came against them from the uttermost part of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow.
Right.
So that the rest did give them tribute every year.
Right. They had to pay tribute to Rome.
Come.
So they come up with an idea. Here's these Romans, man. They running everything. You know what I mean? We should make a confederate with them, and the Greeks will probably either back up or we'll get the Romans to fight the Greeks with us.
Come.
Go ahead. But what they should have did was get righteous and get down with the Lord.
Constantly.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. Besides this, how they had discomfited in battle Philip and Perseus, king of the Cittims, with others that lifted up themselves against them and had overcome them.
Right. So he hearing about these people, they're called the Romans, and they beating everybody. They destroying all them islands over in Turkey. They way up in Spain. Nobody's beating them. Nobody's stopping them.
Right.
Go ahead.
How also Antiochus, the great king of Asia, that came against them in battle, having 120 elephants with horsemen and chariots, and a very great army, was discomfited by them.
Right. Antiochus. He got destroyed. He was one of the 4 generals of the Greek Empire after Alexander the Great. Go ahead.
And how they took him alive and covenanted that he and such as reigned after him should pay great tribute and give hostages, and that which was agreed upon.
Right. Rome was slick. They'll conquer you, make you submit to you, but they'll keep you alive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead. Any more?
Conquer. And the country of India and Media.
Right. The Romans is crushing the Persians too.
Come.
Which was basically controlled by the Greeks. Go ahead.
And Lydia, and of the goodliest countries, which they took of him and gave to King Eumenes. Moreover, how the Grecians had determined to come and destroy them, and that they, having knowledge thereof, sent against them a certain captain, and fighting with them slew many of them, and carried away captives their wives and their children, and spoiled them, and took possession of their lands, and pulled down their strongholds, and brought them to be their servants unto this day.
Okay, we good with that. So they come up with a plan to join them to the Romans. Right. You can go into this book now. This is the last time was show Let You Speak. Heavy book, you know. Some of it has a lot of information on the history, and anything that sounds wrong, you go research it, and you can correct it through the scriptures. You know what I mean? But it's not off. All right, it's not totally off. It's a lot of history. All right, give me page 15. All right, we're gonna go into how it starts, and I'm gonna skip and I'm gonna give a brief history on it. Right. I'm not gonna be real long with it. Where we at, Michelle?
Page 15 here.
Yeah.
And then
right here. Yeah. Let me see this. Yeah, read that and then go back to that.
This one. Okay, come.
Yeah.
Page 15 of the Zealot's book. Hole in the corner. What most puzzled Rome about the Jews was not their unfamiliar rites or their strict devotion to their laws, but rather what the Romans considered to be their unfathomable sense of superiority.
Right. Yeah. So the Romans was like, yo, who the hell are these people calling themselves the chosen people on the face of the earth. Like, yo, they need our help. How could they be the chosen and they still gonna call themselves the chosen people?
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
And believe it, most of the white people and the other nations that know who we are, they kind of look at us the same damn way.
Yeah.
All these people, they know that we the Israelites. The whole thing buzzing now in America is these Israelites.
Right, come on.
I don't care what group, what religion, what race, you know about the Hebrew Israelites. Because we out there in them corners.
Constantly.
And I ain't talking about you Negroes that be online thinking you're doing something.
Right.
Go ahead.
If I could too.
Go ahead.
Like just like how they say in America, they look at us because we oppress and poor, but we still have that spirit of we try to make everything look good and be clean and still live a certain way.
Right.
But they look at us like that's like the term this uppity nigga.
Yeah.
You know, who you think you are? Who you think you are talking to us like this? Or who you think you is being like we supposed to grovel like how the heathens grovel.
Right.
Like how, you know, the Chinese, the East Indian, they
Africans, Africans, they, you know what I mean? They act, matter of fact, the heathens is more house niggas than anybody.
Right.
Yeah. By the way they act to the white man.
Mm-hmm. And they don't like him.
Right.
They don't like him.
They hate him.
But they go up there and they, you know, bow down and yes, sir, and talk nice about him. Mm-hmm. But Negroes, there's like, you too proud. You need to know your place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
Come on. An unfathomable sense of superiority. They don't like that shit at all.
They like the audacity.
Nah, they don't like
these Israelites.
Even I don't know if you saw recently the NBA, Kyrie Irving said that to change his symbol. It's a Kobe Bryant symbol.
Right.
Then white boys say, well, they didn't say no outright. They say, well, now is not the time to do something like that. They're trying to pass it off, but it's true. Like, nobody knows who that white boy is on the front.
Right. Nobody knows yet. You got to know. And he said, I don't give a damn who don't like you. He said something real arrogant at the end.
It's down there like, you know, we superior, but they don't like that.
And the bad thing is that he's one of the top 5
players
in the NBA.
He like, exactly. He risking it. He risking it on going out there.
Yeah.
Come.
Yeah.
Read on right here or go back to
the keep reading because it goes a little bit more.
No stress. The notion that an insignificant Semitic tribe, God damn, like some little nigga from somewhere, golly,
called us insignificant. And that's what the Romans all thought of us.
Right. The notion that an insignificant Semitic tribe residing in a distant corner of the mighty Roman Empire demanded.
You see that? Of the mighty Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Like Esau is proud and he don't want to see anybody more prouder than him.
That's it.
But we have our God, and that's what makes us the children of Israel. We can boast of our power. Go ahead.
Demanded and indeed received special treatment from the emperor was, for many Romans, simply incomprehensible. How dare they consider their God to be the sole God in the universe?
And that stuck with the Romans the entire time dealing with us. Like when they dealt with us, they always knew about this God that we worship.
Right.
Like their God is supposed to be, you know,
better than
like our gods are not real.
Right.
But they asking us for help.
God damn. Yo. I got copy this book here. This is Esau right here, boy.
God. Go ahead.
See, how dare they keep themselves separate from all other nations?
And we were strict with it. And that just goes to show you how these other groups and these other religions is trying to bring everybody together. It's not our culture. That ain't never been our culture. And it don't help us.
Nah.
And the Lord told us it won't help us because he said that they'll get very high over us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
God damn. Who do these backward and superstitious tribesmen think they are? God damn.
Is that not Esau?
Yeah.
That's America all day.
Yeah.
That's the European all day today.
And he ain't even apologetic about this shit. Nah. He's not. You know what I mean? He's not.
He feels disrespected.
Hell yeah.
He feels disrespected. Everybody else was bowing down to the Romans.
Come on.
Everybody was paying tribute to Jupiter.
Right.
Go ahead.
Honest, is down here like, okay, he just said it. He said, they said, what is it? Okay, we insignificant.
In the corner.
We in a corner. So we can't feel we better than you. Like we already living worse than you. It's like Esau, he really want what's in your brain. You know? He don't mind like okay, the Chinese and the East Indians, and they get their money and they have the, they live it. Right. But in the soul, it belongs to him.
Yeah.
But that nigga, he with us, we ain't giving him our soul. But you gonna take your riches and we gonna live in poverty. But that ain't enough for him.
Yep.
He wants you to worship him, and
that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
2 Thessalonians.
Yep. He said, sit in the 11. You're right.
That's him.
Yo, that nigga.
that's why Paul Paul was so heavy on them scriptures, and he understood the Romans and the white man.
Yeah,
he knew it. He knew because by this they all up here later on. They start venturing out, and Paul was from Rome.
He grew up with him. He know.
Well, he was raised up in Rome. Right?
Yeah,
born in Tarsus, but raised up.
And seeing them, dealing with them, he ain't like coming from Jerusalem where it's more closed.
Right.
We under their occupation. Yeah. But he was part of the goddamn society. So he know. Right. He hearing the conversation. Like the brother down there in Florida, he said after the Proud Boys thing, he said all that they was talking there was bullshit. Because in the store, they let you have it. About these niggas and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. All that is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like he's there to see and hear how they really are.
They really are. And you know what's so crazy? Other black people can't see it.
Nah. They ain't gonna see that.
It take a man in the truth to see, you know what I mean? Period. Just to see.
Just to be able to see. It's for sure. The Lord had to be with you to see.
Yeah, all that shit got revealed to him.
Yeah. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and start at 3.
Okay.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition,
which is the son of wickedness, so-called white man.
Right. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God.
And that's exactly what the Romans did.
Right.
They opposed themselves over God and exalted themselves, as you'll see. Go ahead.
All that is worshipped.
All that is worship. They conquered all them nations, and he told them, I'm going to let you worship your God, but you're going to worship me, and you're going to worship the emperor, and you're going to worship Jupiter.
Right. So that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
Yeah, that was a disrespectful thing, having him up in our temple.
Come.
You know what I mean? I went into last week. I went into a paragraph in there where some Roman god was on top of the roof of the temple and pulled his pants down. You know, and I thought to myself, and I said, what they call it, mooning. Mm-hmm. And I said, white people have a history of doing that.
Yeah.
But they went off.
What do you mean?
The people, when he did that, it started a big riot, and they had to kill the guy. The Romans had to kill him. Had to kill that Roman god
to keep these people down.
But they wasn't satisfied with that.
Yeah, they want blood. They want all the blood in the world.
Right.
They want all the blood. And like how they say he sitteth in the temple, how they say you are the temple of the Lord. he want to be in you.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's saying.
His philosophy.
Yeah, he want all of that. Like you can't even think about nothing else.
And that's what happened to the Jews under the Greeks.
Right.
The Greeks wanted to be in you.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to burn the Torah. He wanted you to follow his laws.
Right.
He wanted to be, and that's like America.
Yeah, that's it. They want,
you know what I mean? They want to make you American. They want to make your children accept homo. Man, I saw that disgusting picture of that little homo.
Oh man,
that little homosexual man. You know what I'm talking about,
yeah.
right? With she can't have kids.
Who, Michelle?
Nah.
Oh, the Gabriel Union.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard so. Hold on, I think I have the picture right here for you too. Oh, the general brought it out.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw that.
Man.
Yo, that is so sickening, man.
And the thing is, okay, they obviously doing that for money.
I know.
And that boy, he gonna get caught in it. He ain't gonna be able to come out of it when he ready.
That is crazy.
Like, look at this shit here.
I know, that's disgusting.
For all those who ain't never seen it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what General talking about.
That was, you know what I mean? Like that Hollywood, that Atlanta lifestyle of the rich and the Negro rich and famous.
Yeah.
Is an abomination.
Come.
You know what I mean? The law said those that are highly esteemed among us is an abomination to them.
Come.
You know,
like that's absolutely crazy. Like how they do and push and celebrate this little boy here. Right. Like you would think is a goddamn girl if nobody ever tell him.
I would know. Be like, yo, my nigga, you better stop that.
Say straighten up.
Ain't none of us.
You like straighten up, nigga.
Hey, right. Yo, you punch him in his chest and stuff like that. What's wrong with you, man?
Yeah, man, they overdo it with this little kid, man. Hey. Listen, for him to be here, this guy here to be here, and then you encouraging, there was obviously a progression because that looking like a boy there, even though he had the little braids in.
Right.
So now you just start, you just finished playing for a little while, and then you want more money now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay,
good. Okay.
Come. You want to take a quick break?
Yeah, take a quick break.
And we'll be right back.
We got to take a quick break.
The Lord loved us so much that in our poverty, in our hand, I would come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to
Yo, niggas ain't tough. Yo, niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Shah Brakatah. Yahweh Shema Alatah Shem Shah to all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000, the card of a rhyme, checking in with the Israelite School of UPK under Commander GEN.YAHANNA.
You know we not no cowards. Are you on that?
Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on, I'm gonna say it one more time. This year's 52nd annual Passover under Commander GEN.YAHANNA under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's going to be in H-Town, baby.
It's going to be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do.
2021 I.S.U.P.K. 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Player Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the face. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord of course. On one accord. We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground.
We back. Let the Hebrew speak.
That's right.
Had to take a quick break. Go ahead.
All right. This is the same book, The Zealots. All right. This is like the second chapter or the third chapter. Right. A hole in the corner. That's the name of the chapter. How dare they keep themselves separate from all other nations? Boy, that's. I don't know if I could. A couple of weeks ago at camp, this young brother, he came up and he was like, we speaking so much hatred. I tell him it's not hatred, I just tell him the truth. So he's like, well, you're talking all this about the white man. So I say, well, if ask him what's his favorite team, he said Redskins. Yeah. I say, if you're the coach of Redskins and you have players who like Cowboys, could you keep them? He's like, no, they gotta go, they gotta get out of here. I said, why? Yeah, because if you're not on the team, we ain't gonna win, you gotta go. I said, well, that sounds like his, Doc. He's like, you're right. So as he started to understand, these two East Indians come up and say, color don't matter. Money ain't got no color. And pull the brother all the way over. Like, they cannot, and they came out of nowhere. I didn't even see them walk up. A man and a woman, they look like they own all the damn Dunkin' Donuts.
They're
young and rich.
Yeah.
And they come up, they say, well, what I'm saying is money, money has no color. And, we all should be together. I'm like, for the fact that he would put money in front of us, that's how he sees us. Like, that's all we're concerned with.
I know.
Like, these heathens, if we not joined in, and joining them is really, as they say, to be under them.
Yeah.
They're not joining and sharing the pie.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And money is not saving us.
Money ain't helping us.
One, we ain't getting that much money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So money is obviously useless to us. You know what I mean?
Come.
And I would have, man.
Listen, I went off. So
that's why I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. That's why I give it time. I'm coming back out there. I love that battle. I'm serious, man.
That's a lot.
We would have to take turns.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to. Every bit of snake eats anybody.
Listen, I'm coming back.
That's how the blaze on the house here. It's a lot.
You did right.
And listen, and then an older brother came up and told the young man, he said, you missed the whole point.
Right.
You didn't listen to what they're saying. They don't love you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think especially with the younger generation, the pressure of not having love from the heathens will make us placate to them. You know what I mean? Like,
and ain't nobody really trying to hire as much as these young dudes, or at least they assume in their head. A brother called me. Right. And evidently, he called me Saturday.
Come.
So he was out there listening. Could have been the same dude.
It could be.
But anyway, he was talking about, he said, man, there's days I get up and I be wanting to kill myself. He started going through all the problems. And I said, really? Them problems that you got really come with you not knowing the truth and who you are.
Yeah. Yep.
Your life will be, worth more or have more value if you start coming to class.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's the truth.
Like, you ain't going, like, if you confused about everything and you go through life with, all that confusion, you start to get depressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you ain't seeing no way out.
Yeah. And that's how he feel the only way out is suicide.
Yeah. Like, nothing works, nothing gonna help.
Yeah.
Nothing, yeah.
So I told the brother, I said, man, don't you be committed no so he said, nah, just thought.
Yeah. He ready to give up.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Come on.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But we keep pushing forward. Saving lives. And thanks be to God that Commander General Yahanna kept us alive.
That's right.
Straight up.
That's right.
I wouldn't be here.
Hell, shit, me too. I'm in somewhere watching you on TV, somewhere in some carnival or some kind of nonsense, looking at who the hell is these niggas here? And I've been saying this shit. Who is it? Who are these insignificant? I'm like, why don't they get a job?
I know, right?
Nah, I'm trying to tell you, boy. If it wasn't for the UPK, boy, it would have been bad out here, bro.
Man, I'll tell you.
Okay, let me keep reading this. Okay, who do these backward and superstitious tribesmen think they are? The Stoic philosopher Seneca was not alone among the Roman elite in wondering how it had possibly come to pass in Jerusalem that the vanquished have given
Israel.
laws.
That's Israel he talking about.
Right.
Like they destroyed. Go ahead.
Have given laws to the victors. It's like, we beat you, nigga. How the hell you still talking shit?
Yeah. So now you gonna tell me what we should do. Go to the next page.
Thank the Lord for that spirit, because that's the only thing we have.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we really have. That self-pride, that, you know, that thing to make it keep going, because without that, boy.
Right. And the thing about it is I see like a lot of Israelite groups, man. And I see, you know, in the past seen some videos on how they compromise with like Pan-Africanism.
Crown.
They compromise themselves. And it's like the UPK have always stood strong. You know what I mean? Like, like I see a lot of Israelites talking this Akan, what's it? Akan tribes, and nation or empire.
Right.
The tectonic plates. Israel is in Africa. You know, all that silly mess. You know what I mean? Like that's you compromising.
Right.
Man. You compromising the truth.
Come.
You know what I mean?
No,
we stand strong on it, man.
Yeah, forever.
You know?
Never change. Okay. Still, the Jews were better off than some other Roman subjects. Just like America.
Yeah. Good. Check this out.
For the most part, the Romans humored the Jews, allowing them to conduct their rituals and sacrifices without interference.
Right. Meaning they said, this is what they saying. Okay, I'm gonna let you serve your God.
Right.
I'm not gonna get involved. But in the I don't know above it, whereas they would let the high priest do his job.
Right.
But give him his wardrobe and then get it back after he was finished.
So he couldn't go do it unless they allow him to do it.
Right. He gets the wardrobe when he got to
say,
go to them.
Right.
You know, like today's the Sabbath.
Yeah, right. It's right above here. Your Maria?
Yeah. I said, well, goddamn.
That's jail. That's prison where, you know, they
allow you to. That's what you know what I mean? I was like, shit.
If the Romans wanted to control the Jews, they had to control the temple. And if they wanted to control the temple, they had to control the high priest. Which is why soon after taking control over Judea.
And you know what that's like? Having control of the Christian pastors.
That's what I just thought of.
Black leaders and the politicians and the black celebrities.
That's it.
All of them are our biggest enemies. Always have them, man. Always have them. You know?
Soon after taking control over Judea, Rome took upon itself the responsibility of appointing and deposing either directly or indirectly the high priest, essentially transforming him into a Roman employee. Rome even kept custody.
It's like nigga, you work for us now.
Yeah, and that's how to say, which one of them presidents say the next black leader, we'll choose him?
Yeah, right. The next Messiah.
The next Messiah, we gonna choose him. Rome even kept custody of the high priest's sacred garments, handing them out only on the sacred festivals and feast days and confiscating them immediately after the ceremony. I can see them priests making that ceremony going for the whole day just to keep the clothes. Ain't no hour-long mask.
Right.
It's like the whole day because he gonna wear it. He's like, I ain't losing my wooden floor, boss. Yo, fiddler. You gonna make them take my wooden floor.
Right.
That nigga is like, oh shit, I get to wear this? All right, for the whole week. Right. God damn. Exactly. And that's how church is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how church is today. They just want to get dressed and go there, and after, take it off, and then that's that.
That's it.
That's crazy.
Yo, book is heavy.
Yeah, man. That is
how Rome is, and it's just like America.
Exactly the same.
Go ahead, Rashad.
Come. Still, the Jews. I'm gonna just read over this part.
Okay.
Still, the Jews were better off than some other Roman subjects. For the most part, the Romans humored the Jews, allowing them to conduct their rituals and sacrifices without interference. The Jews were even excused from the direct worship of the emperor, which Rome imposed upon nearly every other religious community under its dominion. Same thing as you're saying.
Worship, yep.
And
you had to worship the emperor as God.
So no, this would be after Christ.
This would be. No, this is in the beginning.
This is in the beginning.
After a while, you know what I mean. This is around
just after Maccabees, then.
Just after, because they removed the Hashmonean dynasty.
Come.
And I believe it might have been under Pompey, if I'm not mistaken.
That's crazy.
I know it says it in there that they removed them. I think it's under. Yeah.
That's crazy because now this scripture making more sense. Like how they say he want to sit as God and to be worshipped as God. You know what I mean?
Keep reading.
You like, yeah, you gonna see some. You give me the Shapar look. You know Shapar said, Shapar look at you like, oh, yeah, it's in there. Hold on, just the Jews were even excused from the direct worship of the emperor, which Rome imposed upon nearly every other religious community under its dominion.
Right.
All that Rome asked of Jerusalem was a twice daily sacrifice of 1 bull and 2 lambs on behalf of the emperor.
That's
and for
making him a god.
Good health. Yeah, because that's our sacrifice.
Right. Yep.
Nah, man.
Yep. They forced them to do that.
Like this testing your integrity here.
I know.
Because it's now like, I'll let you do this in private.
Yeah.
You could in the public eye, you could skip praising me. So everybody will look at you like you're a rebel.
Right.
But behind closed doors, the sacrifice you get to your God, that's for me.
That's for
that really checking the integrity there. Because shit.
Yeah.
You gonna compromise. You know what I mean? He forcing you to compromise.
Exactly. That's why that turmoil during that time period,
right?
Because it started with other men rising up, okay, and it went even during the time of Christ, and then after Christ, after the apostles,
right?
Like this book goes into that time period.
Yeah, you gonna have to be about it because no, you telling him no. He have every like motive or valid reason to now slaughter you because you don't worship him in public. And everybody else is like politics, like chess.
I know.
Nobody would speak up against it because y'all been defying him anyway, not knowing there's a whole backdoor deal going on.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
But that's your Negro leaders.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why the high priest that was doing it,
right?
He was hired by them. He was fine doing it. He was selling out the whole time.
Yeah.
That's why the Sakari killed a high priest in the temple.
I remember, yeah.
In the temple,
it was,
right?
It was about that shit. They're going to try to get to that.
And I'm going to tell you another thing that they always refer back to the Maccabees. They always, all the men that rose up,
right?
They always wanted to be like them.
Man, listen, courage is a hell of a thing to. It'll be let's say not influential, contagious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It'll be contagious. Right. Yeah, that courage would make it be like that. Damn near if Dwayne Wade had give his son that, his son would have wanted to be like him. You know what I mean? Like everybody here want to be like the men before them.
Exactly.
But now his son want to be like not even another man. You want to be a whole other sex.
Right.
That's crazy.
You know. So that you know.
Continue making the sacrifice. It's like, yeah, continue making the sacrifice. Keep up with the taxes and tributes. Follow the provincial laws. And Rome was happy to leave you, your God, and your temple alone. That's America.
Right.
That's the mark of the beast.
Exactly.
That is the mark of the beast.
Page 20.
God damn.
Now that's still BC era.
Right.
But like, 50 BC, 40 BC, somewhere around there.
It's close to the time.
Yeah. They you know what I mean? Page 20 down, right. This is better. Let me see. Yeah,
this one here. Yeah. Okay. The Roman Senate. This is 20. This is the chapter, King of the Jews. The Roman Senate determined that the most effective way to retake Jerusalem from Parthian control was to make Herod its client king.
Right. So in other words, there was another heathen that had control of Judea, which was those people there, which they come from the east and the northern part of, well, their empire stretched to the northern part of Arabia, Judea, all the way over to Iran.
And this is the Parthians?
Yeah, right. They're like an offshoot Arab, Persian type of people.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's who they are.
And they was running in Jerusalem.
Right. He was running that
like they
area.
controlled, like down the
right.
This get accurate.
That yep.
Just for y'all to see what you're now talking about.
Right. So they was able to stretch all the way over into here.
So they would go east, like down here.
Yeah, down here, right. So they was able to, their empire was able to get to, what's that?
Nabateans or something like that.
Right. So they was like a problem because they were so far east for Rome at that time. But it wasn't no big thing with Rome because,
Rome, the Lord done put them in position, so it was just to go take it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Somebody was asking about the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good.
The book is the Zealots. You just look it up on Amazon. You could get it. It's a good book. You know what I mean? It's a real good book. There might be something to see.
So they can hold their questions. They can hold you. Y'all can hold your questions
until afterwards.
Unless it's pertaining to the book, it's no problem.
Okay.
Hey, shalom, Azania.
Yeah, he said the same thing here. It's the same spirit today that the black leaders and politicians are.
Right, exactly. Azania.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I ain't gonna slow it up no more. Let me see. Page 20, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So was to make Herod its client king and let him accomplish the task on Rome's behalf. So like he would go in and like an agent then for them.
Right.
To topple the party and empire.
Right. It would be like Barack Obama.
Right.
Let me give somebody that's similar because he was nothing more than a convert.
Right.
But he was Idumea, and I think Arab. His mother was an Arab, and his father from Idumea. Yeah, he was a devil.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But he ain't look like that.
He ain't look like a pure devil more than likely.
So he was the best Trojan horse for them for real.
Right.
The naming of client kings was standard practice during the early years of the Roman Empire,
Right.
allowing Rome to expand its borders without expending valuable resources administering conquered provinces directly. Right. That's damn near exactly what they do today.
An overseer.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Like they remove one person and they raise up who they want, like a puppet.
Right. They move a whole family line and raise up a puppet that's gonna. But this dude, it was like you read upon him. That's why he's called Herod the Great. Herod they're great.
That's the thing. Boy.
You become great in the earth, like Oprah Winfrey. Gail, what was her name?
Gail King.
Gail King. You know what I mean?
Shit.
You destroy black people, boy. You become great in this society.
Keep reading right down here.
Yeah.
Okay. In 37 BCE, Herod marched to Jerusalem with a massive Roman army under his command.
Right.
He expelled the Parthian forces from the city and wiped out the remnants of the Hasmonean dynasty.
So in their mind is he doing them a favor, as far as the Israelites.
Right. And the Hasmonean dynasty, that was the Maccabees family after
Right. Exactly.
Because now they done join force with the Romans and whoever else, the Parthians there. So he had to get rid of everybody. In recognition of his services, Rome named Herod king of Rome named Herod king of the Jews. God damn.
Like the white man don't even care. He's not even a Jew.
Yo, that shit. I wonder what was he, because this shit is just like Obama.
And that's what I'm saying.
And I'm wondering if they back then looked at Herod like,
man, I think
Obama.
I'm
thinking
I think America be just going into history
and
coming up with better plans.
Like they see where it
because it's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you know a lot of like military generals, they go back in time, and they know the history. A lot of them, You know, I know before time, a lot of the generals would always study different techniques of war with the Romans, the Greeks,
right?
You know what I mean, the Arabs, you know, all that, the whole 9 yards. So,
yeah, that's wild right there.
Yep.
Granting him a kingdom that would ultimately grow larger than than that of King Solomon.
Right.
Herod was a profligate and tyrannical. Herod's was a profligate and tyrannical rule marked by farcical excess and bestial acts of cruelty. No, I don't need a dictionary for all that shit.
Right. In other words, he wasn't going for nothing, and he was doing the job that the Romans wanted him to do.
God damn.
And listen, and how he got in that was Mark Antony. Mark Antony was friends of him and Herod's father, and that's how he got in there. That's how he got in that position.
Profligate, wildly extravagant. Was farcical. I already know tyrannical. Salakia.
Hey, no, get down.
Salakia.
Get down.
Farcical. Salakia. I don't get this boy. Jeez and ages. He was farcical, resembling a farce, meaning his whole rule was just ridiculous. That kind of like a Trump in a way, like, you know what I mean? Like he extravagant, he like a tyrant.
Yeah.
The whole thing is hypocrisy.
Exactly.
And well, except bestial acts. I thought it was bestial, but it said bestial.
Okay.
Hold on. Bestial. Damn. Of or relating to beasts.
I figured.
God damn. Resembling a beast, lacking intelligence or reason, marked by base, In other words, he was just an animal.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably just, effing animals too.
He did,
He just like full out animal.
Exactly. So
and they call him the King of the Jews.
You know he was an animal because as Christ was coming up, he was trying to kill Christ at birth.
Because he knew that was the King of the Jews. And okay, boy,
he got wind of that, and he said, "Yo, we're gonna kill all the male children."
Yeah. And listen, this is how it's so. I don't even know the word to describe it because they say we was insignificant and tucked away in a corner. So how in the hell? That's like even the FBI, CIA, NASA, all the missiles on the moon on Southside Chicago.
Right. You know why? Because they misbehaving because of it. They worship a different God.
This white man, boy, God.
They don't want that God. They don't want their God to go. They want to keep, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm able to make everybody else submit.
Right. But y'all,
you keep talking about you got the only God on earth.
Yeah, that hits a chord with them.
And it's like damn, they're saying, my God don't even mess with you. That's just what we say out there.
It hits a chord with them. Like that man, the spirit didn't know it. It had to be the spirit know that Jesus is
hold on. And then you got rough looking Israelite with beards.
Who don't care. Who totally don't conform.
Listen, language is different.
Everything different. The dress different, the language different, the hair different.
Exactly.
The things we say is different. I see the whole spirit of the whole thing now. That's why the history is so important with this. The history is so important to make you understand what the shit, like as I say, how Paul was saying this thing here. It put it in perspective. He's like, you want to sit as God in the temple of God. Like, it's not enough that we pay you all the taxes and serving you.
And you got garrison in our land.
In our land. You're taking everything. Now you want me to bow down to you?
Yep.
Jeez. And he said, be not deceived, because look at all the deception going on. The client king, this one, Obama, the one who they hire and give him the garments to do these
exactly.
There's so much deceit going. Man, these fake Israelites, man, y'all as client kings. They're giving you all them garments because them garments is Romans. Them purple faggots, them red and white ones.
Exactly.
Little fringes on the bottom of the shirt. That is y'all.
Yeah, that fringes on the shirt.
I see it right now. Listen, is that like the fourth dimension on seeing the history and seeing, the truth. Like, God damn.
Yo, listen, I was amazed at this book. Go ahead.
I'm gonna eat up this book this week, so Herod's okay, right. He was ruthless to his enemies and tolerated no hint of revolt from the Jews under his reign.
Right. Meaning you was getting slaughtered.
Yeah, quick, as soon as he heard it.
Right.
Upon ascending the throne, he massacred nearly every member of the Sanhedrin and replaced the temple priest with a clique of foreign admirers who purchased their positions directly from him.
Like Jesse Jackson's son in Chicago.
Yeah.
He was trying to sell the Senate seat.
Yeah. Yep. And the other one, that preacher in Chicago, the young one. It was a young one who tried to buy himself in there too.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? This went on in Israel.
That's crazy.
That's good right there, Bashar, unless there's more. But I wanted to go into page 54.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna speed up a little bit, and I'm gonna give you a brief history from 37 BC all the way up into after Christ died. So it's around maybe 54 BC.
Come on.
I mean, Salakia, 54 AD.
Right. Come on now. I don't know if you wanted to take this.
Yeah, go ahead.
The same thing.
What he says?
Is that the same? Is that the same one that John the Baptist was killed over with the wife? I think you mean Herod.
Yeah, right. But that wasn't Herod the Great. That was another Herod, one of his sons.
Oh.
Okay, I believe it was either Philip. I could. Let me. You want to know? But it's not him. But it's Herod's, like one of his sons, and I believe it was Philip. All right.
You want to try to find it now? Or?
Yeah, because there's several Herods. That Herod the Great, he died right when Christ left and went to Egypt, because Joseph was trying to hide the Yahushua in Egypt. Joseph brought Christ back into Israel, but it was up in Nazareth. Was it Nazareth or Galilee? It was up in Galilee, I believe, or Nazareth. So after Herod the Great died, so it ain't the same. It's not the same one.
Yeah, because this is 64 years after.
Yeah,
this one was 37 years before.
Right.
So
and he died around like 1 AD, 4 AD,
something like that.
Herod the Great died around there, and that's when Christ got brought back into the land. But he didn't go back into Bethlehem. He went up in Nazareth, which is actually the surrounding city of Galilee.
So don't look for where John was beheaded. Go back to where
he died, which is Matthew's, the 2nd chapter,
where
15, I think. Matthew's chapter 2, verse 15, something like that.
Where they took him to Egypt and then brought him back after.
Yeah, where he tells him to come out of, I call my son up out of Egypt, and Herod died.
Matthew 2 and 14. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt have I called my son. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem. So he stayed there until the same Herod died. This Herod killed everybody.
That's the one we just read
about. And then another Herod came.
One of his sons. One of his sons. It was Philip. I believe it was Philip that killed John. You know what I mean? Look, see if you see Philip.
Yeah, that was scrolling on here for.
I forgot which. Where is that? My memory gone on the scripture, Salakia, y'all.
Nah, man, it's still right there. You pull 2 and 14 quick. I know it was somewhere there, but I'm thinking it would be where they beheaded. Hold on. Verse 22. But when he heard that Archelaus did reign in Judea in the room of his father Herod,
right,
he was afraid to go thither. So this is another.
That's his son,
Archelaus.
Right.
So this is the one who take over when Christ was young.
Yeah, but he had 4 of them.
Okay.
He had 4 sons.
Okay, come on.
And I think it was Philip, or was it his brother? Yeah, it was his brother that married. It was his brother that married. Philip was the one that married his brother's wife, and told the daughter, "What do you want?" Right.
Mm-hmm. That's the one who That's the one I want to go back to.
Yeah. If you put it,
John, let me see.
Beheaded.
Yeah, I had it just on Mark 6, I think.
Give us a second. You're gonna get the scripture for you.
You want it in Mark or
to
Matthew?
Prove. Either or.
Either one. Yeah, I pulled it in Mark 6 just now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and King Herod heard of him. Verse 14, Mark 6 and 14. And King Herod heard of him, for his name was spread abroad, and he said that John the Baptist was risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. Others said that it is Elias, and others said that it is a prophet or as one of the prophets.
Right.
But when Herod heard thereof, he said, it is John whom I beheaded. He is risen from the dead.
That's the one he thought that was Christ. Meaning he thought that when they heard about Christ,
right,
they thought that was John that rose up from the dead. Just put it, Philip.
Yeah, I seen it right here.
Oh,
for Herod himself had sent forth and laid hold upon John,
right,
and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife, right, for he had married her. Right. So this Herod, he married Philip's wife,
right? And it was like 4 brothers.
That's them nasty. They're killing each other for some damn brother and shit. They're killing everybody,
right? And
she was a hoe any goddamn way.
Exactly.
she wanted. They're fighting each other for her, and she wanted John.
Right.
She wanted that insignificant rod that they're talking about, which is a real one.
Right. Right. I gotta search the background on that broad there, see if she was an Israelite. So.
Come.
You know what I mean? More than likely. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so from here,
yeah,
64.
Yeah.
It was now 64 CE, the common era.
Now, in between that time, man, a lot of brothers was rising up. Different groups was rising, and they was like revolted against the Roman Empire. So it got heated. All right, and a lot of these other brothers, which I spoke of in the last week or the other week that I was here, they were brothers that was calling themselves the Messiah. When you go into Matthew 24 chapter, Christ talks about don't be following behind these cats.
Right. In 2 years' time, the anger, resentment, and messianic zeal that had been steadily building throughout the land would erupt into a full-scale revolt against Rome. Yeah. Cumanus, Felix, Festus, Albinus, Florus, each of these governors contributed through his maleficence. God damn.
Meaning like Rome kept sending governors to try to, put down all these revolts from these men that the Sicarii, you had another brother named Simon and another guy named John.
Right.
What was the other one? The Egyptian.
Who led the year.
Which was an Israelite. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's the one who when they say, are you the one who led them people against?
Right. But it was everybody thinks he was an Egyptian, but he was an Egyptian Israelite.
I got you.
You know what I mean? He was the one that was causing havoc. Go ahead.
Come. To the Jewish uprising, Rome itself was to blame for its mismanagement and severe overtaxation of the beleaguered population. That same thing going on right now.
Right. Meaning they kept sending everybody and they kept pressing the people.
Yeah.
Not only are you going to press the people, but you're going to disrespect their temple.
Come.
You know what I mean? Like, It's like, yo, and they had that going on since the time of Herod.
Come.
So they've been, and before that was the Greeks. So after a while, you just get tired and fed up. Men was trying to rise up, but they wasn't in the right spirit.
Right.
And they was thinking that they were Christ. In their mind, they were saying, this is the time I'm going to take the kingdom. And that was the problem. And that's why Christ said, don't follow them.
You're right. When he will come saying Christ, he low Christ there, Christ.
Right. That's why they call it a Masonic period.
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Certainly, the Jewish aristocracy, with their incessant conflicts and their sycophantic efforts to gain power and influence by bribing Roman officials, shared responsibility for the deteriorating social order.
Caiaphas. You know how he was worried about losing his seat? They had that same spirit. They was worried about getting money. All right.
That's crazy.
Give me where we at.
Right here.
Okay, give me page 55, right over there. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that was 64, 2 years later.
Right. In May of 66 CE, Florus suddenly announced that the Jews owed Rome 100,000 denarii in unpaid taxes.
So you just seen what happened when they said all the governors, they was taxing Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept doing 2 years later. Now they just said, yo, you owe us this amount of money. Go ahead.
And he was one of the governors they sent.
Exactly. And them governors was all Roman.
And he like nothing better than to tell these niggas, you too poor to pay this shit.
Because they all was skimming.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody was, Roman was a corrupt, country within itself anyway.
Come.
Go ahead.
Trailed by an army of bodyguards, the Roman governor marched into the temple and broke into the treasury, plundering the money that the Jews had offered as a sacrifice to God. Hold on. It didn't say potatoes and onions and carrots.
Exactly.
It said money.
Right.
For you Christians.
Right.
It said money.
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 That's a good thing to recognize.
And the sacrifice, like the only monetary sacrifice is tithes. And or if you get a fine for something,
right?
That's the tithes is what's going to be stored up.
Exactly.
So
that's how they was able to get all that.
They didn't plunder potatoes, dummy.
Right.
They plundered money.
Money that they can carry back.
At the same time, if I could just plug, pay your tithes. Hold on, pay your tithes. Send your tithes in.
That's right.
Where is it? At the same time, pay your tithes.
Right.
Pay your tithes. They ain't gonna come in here and plunder this one. But here they did it. They plundered it because the Jews was paying money, tithes in the temple.
Right, that cash.
Simple Negroes. All right. Where we at?
We only say that because so many years we done heard Israelites talk about fruits and vegetables.
And corn.
And corn.
And corn.
Like they growing fruits and vegetables.
Right.
If you are, sell them.
Right.
And bring the money in.
You should bring the corn. You still ain't bringing the corn.
Right. You still ain't bringing the corn in.
Riots ensued, to which Florus responded by sending 1,000 Roman soldiers into the upper city to murder at will.
You see that? Once they came in, took that money, another uprising occurred. Go ahead. Where he sent soldiers to kill them.
And, okay, here is down there like they're occupying us, but we still have our separate economy. And that's because we had our God. We had all, we keep it amongst ourselves. We segregated. They don't want us to have our God so the money ain't gonna be with us.
Exactly.
You understand? Like they even though they was under pressure here, they still had that, economy.
Oh yeah, they had their own economy.
They had something to take, but where are you so gonna take now? The church? No. Because the church giving them everything anyway. It's we spread out and separate so much.
Right.
You know
I see what
I mean?
you're saying, right.
Like that's why now it's like we had to wipe away every knowledge of them being Jews. Because even if we come together and be watered down Jews, we'll still have that common economy with money.
Yeah.
And they don't want that shit at all.
Right. Just like Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
They didn't want,
they don't want
like Tulsa, Oklahoma had their own little city, their own little economy flowing over there.
Yep. They don't want that.
So-called white man, he had to put that to a stop.
Come. To murder at will. The soldiers killed women and children, just like the white men. They always go for the weak.
Just like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Rosewood.
Come. They broke into homes and slaughtered people in their beds.
Is that not like in America?
Yeah. That's Breonna Taylor.
Yeah. That's what the Ku Klux Klan used to do. That's what all the old lynchings was about.
Mm-hmm. All them cops with them
did you ever see 24th Regiment?
Nah. A movie or a series?
That was a true story. I read about it before I didn't even know it was a movie. I read about it just
24th Regiment.
Good movie.
I'm gonna look it up.
Good movie.
I need something to watch. I'm gonna look that up.
It was just as good as Rosewood, but stronger.
Mm.
It's real good.
I'm gonna look it up. 24th Regiment. I'm for sure.
That's a good movie. 24th Regiment. It's a good black movie.
I'm gonna check that for sure. Mm.
Put it this way. If I was back then, I would rather be the 24th Regiment.
I want to be one of them niggas.
I mean, you know what I mean? If I was back then, I don't know if you seen Deacons for Defense.
I hear you talk about that before, though. I ain't never seen them.
24 is better than that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Writing them shits down, man. Because I'm
the Negroes in, and this is a true story. In Houston, in Texas.
24th Regiment.
24th Regiment. I recommend anybody that don't watch TV.
Yeah.
Because garbage is on.
Yeah.
That's in the truth. Watch that. You know?
Deacons for Defense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check them too out.
Yeah, they good.
Come on.
But if you watch 24th Regiment, you're not gonna really care too much
for Deacons for Defense.
If you see Deacon Fitz, you'll be like, yo, that was good. But if you see that,
I'm gonna watch that one first. I'm gonna go find this up. I'm gonna go find that shit up.
I guarantee you, you're like, yo, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go find that shit up.
Because in the very beginning, you got a light-skinned brother, dark-skinned brother. The dark-skinned brother's beefing with the brother because the light-skinned brother's educated.
Right.
And they've been going through it, but I'm gonna just give you, finally, they talk.
Right.
And they got a good understanding of each other.
Right.
And that be Israel's problem. We don't talk to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't really squat. Like we don't squash our differences. We don't confront brothers. We don't, you know what I mean?
We don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Exactly.
We don't, and to give the extra mile to say, you know what? Let me go see. Because the shit that you seeing in perspective is that's what you seeing. That ain't how to be the whole picture.
That ain't right.
That ain't the whole picture.
Right,
so
exactly.
Yeah, man. And that comes with that pride too. That pride is a hell of a fucking thing.
Right.
That pride is a hell of a thing here.
Yeah.
You know, that pride get up in there. It's like, nah, I ain't saying nothing. Nah, you good? You good, nigga? Nah, you good, homie, you good? It's all right. That pride be something else too. You know what I mean? So they broke into homes and slaughtered people in their beds. The city was thrown into chaos. War was on the horizon. To calm the situation, the Romans sent the Jews one of their own, Agrippa II, whose father, Agrippa I, was a beloved Jewish leader.
Come in, Martin Luther King.
Yeah, man.
They get ready to have this march on Washington. They talking about shutting down the airports, blocking the highways.
Well,
I need you and the rest of them to go overtake and talk to these Negroes.
Yes, sir. Well, I have a dream, sir, that one day.
That's who King Agrippa was. You can read just a little bit on. I mean, even though he making sense, you know what I mean?
What it was.
But that's who they went to get right. That's who they went to go get.
It is politics. Although the son did not share his late father's popularity, he was the best hope.
Which means he was an eloquent speaker, like his father was a good liar. A good hype preacher. You know what I mean? He wasn't that good as his father.
He was the best hope the Romans had for diffusing the tension in Jerusalem. The young Agrippa rushed to the holy city in a last-ditch effort to stave off war, standing on the roof of the royal palace with his sister Bernice. Good Christian name, man.
Yeah, is that Martin Luther King?
I wouldn't believe that's his daughter's name, Bernice. I think that's his daughter's goddamn name.
Martin Luther King daughter named Bernice.
At his side and pleaded with the Jews to face the reality of the situation. Will you defy the whole Roman Empire? Yes, nigga. Goddamn. He asked, what is the army? Where is the weapon on which you rely? He's slick, boy.
Yeah.
He's slick. That's a good question.
Yeah, that, you know what I mean? Where we at? You can go to the 58. Oh, let me give you this to read too, man.
Hold on, so
Go ahead, go with it. Go with it.
Do you really suppose that you are going to war with the Egyptians or the Arabs? Will you shut your eyes to the might of the Roman Empire? Will you not measure your own weakness? Are you wealthier than the Gauls and stronger than the Germans? More intelligent than the Greeks? More numerous than all the people of the world? What is it which inspires you with confidence to defy the Romans? This nigga diabolical.
Yeah.
If anything, this is why they cannot have us worshiping the Lord we have.
Right.
Because with all of that he run down there, which if you look in face value, is true. We ain't got nothing. They so-called more intelligent, they done this, they done higher society. And he asked the question, what is it which inspires you with confidence to defy the Romans? God, the God of the Bible.
Right.
That's who.
Right.
The man who destroyed Egypt, that's who.
Right.
And that's what they never allow us to have, which is a healthy defiance for these heathens.
Exactly.
It's like we have to now fight that down and suppress that because they are heathens, they have the empire, they have the money, they got the language, they got culture. They always say, we have a rich culture.
Right.
And because of that, a nigga had to feel shame. Nah, F all of that, man.
Yeah.
F all of God say, I'm the best.
Right. And that's why our warfare is not carnal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy, yo.
But back then,
yeah,
I understand. But I got to go let you read this because in all this, you probably wonder where the apostles at? Where the people that was following Christ? Where did they go?
Okay.
You can scroll
top one. Okay. After Nero had held the power 13 years, and Galba and Otho had ruled a year and 6 months, Vespasian, who had become disgruntled in the campaigns against the Jews, was proclaimed sovereign in Judea and received the title of emperor from the armies there. Setting out immediately, therefore, for Rome, he entrusted the conduct of the war against the Jews to his son Titus.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna let you read this more when we get to the point. So what happens is later on, Nero dies while Vespasian is on his way.
Okay.
All right. Like he done got the authority now to go down.
And he done bitter from before.
But Nero's still alive when he leaves.
But by the time he get there, he's dead.
Yeah. But let's
but he done bitter already. He done have a little chip on him before he even gets the power.
Yeah.
He done he has some.
Yeah. He gonna go into it. Where we at? We go into
we're on 55 here.
All right.
Which
58.
Okay, 58. After Herod's death, the fortress and palaces at Masada and the cache of weapons stored therein fell into Roman hands.
Meaning this, Herod had a little up in Masada, a fort, and he had weapons up in there, and everybody knew about the fort because he built that fort.
Come on.
Or he reinforced that fort. You know what I mean? He reinforced it, remodeled it and made it stronger.
Right.
I'm just giving you the history a little bit on Masada. But the Romans, when they knew about it, they made sure that we didn't have any weapons.
Yeah, take that.
So they took all the weapons.
Come on.
Go ahead.
When the Jewish rebellion began in 66 CE, the Sicarii, under the leadership of Menahem, seized Masada from Roman control and took its weapons back to Jerusalem to join forces with Eleazar, the temple captain.
All right.
Keep reading.
Yeah.
Having seized control over the city and destroyed the temple archives, the rebels began minting coins to celebrate their hard-won independence. So these is like the zealots. This is like
zealots. Yeah.
And when they say minting coin, meaning they our own money.
Yeah, they started reminting theirs because the whole time. That's why when you see other coins, they look white,
right?
Because that's what they did with our currency. They put Caesar's face on it. That's why Christ said, "Whose face is on the currency?"
Man, that whole shit coming alive now. that ain't our money we spending, Negro. That's Caesar money.
Right. That's why. But they wanted Christ to go like the rest of them.
Like them because they're seeing that shit.
They hated to get taxed. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they down with the Herodians and all the high priests.
Right.
So they out in the street and they ask Christ, "Yo, who should we pay tribute to?"
to see if he gonna say like how they do it.
Like we should kill these, you know what I mean? Like that's what somebody that don't have wisdom.
Yeah. And
Christ was slick, the wisest brother on the face of the earth.
Yeah, he seeing them coming. He know they're snakes.
And he was smooth with it. He was smooth with it.
That's crazy.
That's why, like when I seen the video with GEN.YAHANNA when he came out the courtroom. Yeah. He said, "I don't hate white people. God hates white people." Now, how you going?
You can't argue with that. But if you're simple, that look to you like something else. But that's just like how Christ said, "Render to Caesar what Caesar."
I said, that's why I don't need to be in front of no camera. At that time, I said, that's why I don't need to be in front of no news camera.
Yeah, he
need to learn how to
with it. He know when. He know when to move
and what to say,
what to say, who to say. He understands that.
And make the I.S.U.P.K, blameless.
Yeah, hell yeah. And recognize and respect it because that was a major court case.
Yeah.
With Liberty, that was a major court case.
Yeah, man.
And that's strict
and that's how Christ moved.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Like that's strict adherence to the scripture because Christ said, not that he agreed with the enemy there, but how we say agree with the enemy anyway. Then it's also in the Bible, which is a soft answer turn away wrath.
Right.
You know, like that is wisdom. Harmless as is wisdom in this thing here.
Yeah.
Because the sellout one, Florius, he just said you're gonna fight the Egyptians and the Arabs and Agrippa.
Yeah.
Right. The Egyptians, the Arabs, this one, that one. Like when you look at who stacked against you, you make one wrong move, it's everybody. You're gonna fight everybody. Why do I want to fight everybody?
Right.
I don't want to fight first, so God want to fight you. You know what I mean? It's like that. That's it's wisdom.
Right.
It's wisdom. Right. The God I worship, he want to kill all of you.
Yeah, he has a problem.
He had a problem with you. Not me, him. You want to fight him? Go fight him.
Right.
You saw what happened to Egypt, right?
Exactly.
It's crazy, man.
Where we at?
When he sees the weapon after they made coins. These were etched with symbols of victory, chalices on palm branches, and inscribed with slogans like freedom of Zion and Jerusalem is holy.
It's a coin that they have with the palm trees. I don't know if you have that. But
it would be
under the coins. It's a lot of them now. I don't know if you'd be able to.
You might be able to find it. With it 66. This is 66 CE, right?
Right.
Coin with palm trees, right?
Right.
It would be tight if you could find
That's
it.
the chalice. Yeah. That's one of them.
This is so I'm trying to get the image of it though.
There go another one. These are the ones that palm trees, chalice.
You want this one in too?
Yeah, they can see that.
I could pull it up. I was looking for a good one to pull up though.
You can pull up any
one.
Yeah, that's good. So that they can see it.
Count.
Those are the coins that they minted themselves.
Right.
All right.
Come on.
With the child's cup and the palm trees.
Right. What's that? Shathayam Shanath. If it's going this way.
Yeah, that should be going.
Yeah, it should be going that way.
Right.
I can't make out this one. Yawa.
Nah.
Yeah. Yawa. Nah.
Katham.
It's at the bottom. Oh, this might be a Shah here. No, I didn't even see that.
Right. Oh, yeah.
This might be a Shah. Shaya one. Same thing? Nah. Shaya one now.
Right.
Ka. Something. Tha. Kabath or Karath or.
Then they got the connector.
Yeah.
They got the connector.
So it'll be Shathayam. And this is Shanath. Yeah. This is to celebrate their independence. It's like we're gonna spend our own money.
Right.
They don't want none of that. They don't want none of that going on.
Yeah.
So these were etched with symbols of victory, chalices and palm branches, and inscribed with slogans like "Freedom for Zion" and "Jerusalem is holy," written not in Greek, the language of the heathens and idolaters, but in Hebrew. Each coin was self-consciously dated year 1, as though a wholly new era had begun.
Right.
The prophets had been right. Surely this was the kingdom of God. That's what they thought.
That's what they thought. That's what they thought.
Yeah,
but the apostles knew otherwise.
Come on.
You know what I mean? They knew, you know what I mean?
Come on. They tried.
Another one. Yeah. Another one. Yeah.
Let me see this one. This one might be clearer. This one here, right? Yeah. Oh shit. Man, I'm trying to get better.
Y'all are.
I'm trying to get better with the Joker. You know what I mean?
The first time when you was sitting right over there years ago, I was like, yo, I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead and do it.
I'm trying to get there with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
So yeah, them brothers did their thing.
But yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with hating Esau.
Nah.
He's right.
He's absolutely right.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, for sure.
But they messed up with making a league with Rome.
Without your leader, you ain't, you need that one person who gonna lead it the right way. Because eventually, that fight, somebody had to be ready to take up that fight. Nobody doesn't want to keep fighting.
Right. That's why they removed the Hashmoneans and the Sanhedrins.
Because
you don't want no opposition.
Right.
You want somebody that's going to work for you and not work with you. You know what I mean? Don't nobody want a partner.
Right.
You know what I mean? Rome didn't want no partner. They wanted workers.
They want people under them so they could take all the bread.
And that's how heathens are.
Yeah. Come on. You still want to take a break or you good to go?
I'm good to go.
Okay, come
on. You know what? Let's finish this up. Yeah.
No, sir.
Where we at?
No, I finished right here. The kingdom of God.
Okay. Let me get to page 60. Page 60. And we see where we at. Right here.
Okay. News of the Jewish revolt had traveled swiftly to Emperor Nero.
So as they print these coins, the news go back to Rome.
Right. Who immediately tapped one of his most trusted men, Titus Flavius Vespasianus Fagitus. That name there has a little bit too much glory. I had to stain it. I had to muck it up. I had to muck it up and drag it through the mud.
Hey, Hey, I feel you on that.
Homosexual LGBTQanus. Vespasian, as he was known, nasty sodomite, to retake Jerusalem. So Nero sent him.
Right. So now he's on his way. He's coming down. Now this cat, this Edomite, when he comes in the land, he's hitting everything from North Israel, making his way to Jerusalem.
By the time we get to Jerusalem, nigga, you better surrender. So that's what he writes.
So he's like a steamroller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Exceedingly great, you know what I mean? That beast that was exceedingly great, that's this here. Go ahead.
If I could too, you know what's good too about, okay, the succeeding generation, the relationships the older generation might have.
Yeah, go ahead.
That next generation is not going to respect that.
Yeah. No.
Meaning like, okay, he's some young military dude under Nero. He don't know all the shit really. He knows the history.
He know the history.
But he don't have the feeling or the connection there.
Right.
All he know is, okay, I gotta go kill them, no sweat.
Because he had been killing in Rome, you know, up in other countries.
Right.
So all he know is war.
War, that's it.
I'm gonna stomp them out. Okay,
That's
you want me to go there? I'm gonna stomp them out.
That's it.
You know.
Even like,
and you wanted glory, just like when Christ come back, he go, Mashak, I need you to go take you.
That's it. like his whole thing is different. Like the Pharaoh that came after the one that was with Joseph. Or they say this new Pharaoh, he didn't respect Joseph people. Yeah. Or the old one, like that new generation, even though he's seen in the history books what happened, he don't respect that shit.
But ain't that the same thing with Solomon's son?
See, what you say, my pinky finger will be heavier than your father's loins. You think I'm bad now?
Yeah, right.
Wait.
My father was bad. And he was with the young generation.
That's all, once that come through, and that whole period of time pass of whatever,
right?
You're gonna have a whole different motive. Like even with from Judas to that Hashmonean Empire.
Exactly.
Judas, them that generation done gone. There you're reading about it, but you don't have a connection there. So now you in power, you gonna go off and do your own goddamn thing.
You ain't gonna think.
You ain't gonna think nothing, through. So he coming through. He's just like, oh, kill them, no problem. We gonna kill them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Taking a massive army of more than 60,000 fighting men, Vespasian set off at once for Syria, while his son Titus went to Egypt to collect the Roman legion stationed in Alexandria.
So his son is getting the garrisons in Egypt to come hit Israel.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Israelites that were taught by Christ and the apostles, now I want you to read this. Yeah, they knew. They knew. The Israelites that was taught, the disciples.
From where?
You can start from the beginning.
From what? No, sir.
Wherever.
After Nero had held the power 13 years, and Galba and Otho had ruled a year and 6 months, Vespasian, who had become distinguished in the campaigns against the Jews, was proclaimed sovereign in Judea and received the title of emperor from the armies there. Setting out immediately, therefore, for Rome, he entrusted the conduct of the war against the Jews to his son Titus.
Right. So he passed it down to Titus. Nero died, and as he was coming through Galilee and all that,
right,
he got called to go back up to Rome. Because when Nero died, Rome went in disarray.
Right. So he had to go and handle that business.
He had to go handle that business because other men were trying to be emperors. Go ahead.
Man, social media just destroy all this shit. Imagine Nero dying. Just send out a tweet. Nero died, we're gonna choose the next one. But it ain't moving so quick there. So now we have to send for the military. The military had to come back.
Right, he had to come back.
It's crazy.
Of course, he left some of his men, but he had to take some of his men to, you know what I mean? He still had to take an army back to
handle that business. And not only from the disarray locally, but when the enemies hear Nero dead, right, now we could come for you all. Exactly. Yeah. For the Jews, after the ascension of our Savior, in addition to their crime against him, had been devising as many plots as they could against his apostles.
Meaning this, the high priests, right, Pharisees and Sadducees, right, and the rich was plotting to kill the disciples or the apostles and the disciples of Christ. That's what it's talking about. As this going on, right? But most of the apostles, as you'll read, and most of the apostles is dead. Most of them are dead by now. Right. They already been crucified up in Rome and other parts. Right. They've been killed. Right. You know, and this Nero, he killed one of them. He killed a whole bunch of them. He killed a whole bunch of people. Damn. He killed. Yeah. And see, that cracker wound up killing himself. Nero. Yeah. He died by suicide. Mm. That's why he had to go back up there, because Nero had just sent him. Go ahead. For the Jews, after the ascension of our Savior, in addition to their crime against him, had been devising as many plots as they could against his apostles. I see what you're saying. Yep. I see exactly what you're saying. This was after Christ left. So they still teaching. Yeah. During all that time, they still in Jerusalem and other parts, they still teaching. But they got schools and all that, right? But the Israelites that's in Jerusalem, they trying to, our own people, our own leadership is trying to wipe them out. Go ahead. First, Stephen was stoned to death by them. And after him, James, the son of Zebedee, and the brother of John, was beheaded. Because they probably felt like you the cause of all this uproar, and now everybody want to be a Messiah. Mm-hmm. You causing the Romans to come down on us. Yeah. The whole time of the books of Acts. That's why they was trying to put them to death. Like Paul was wise when he got sent to Rome. Right. He eventually got executed, but he got out of that jam up. Go ahead. You're right. Come on. That was with Agrippa, right? Yeah. And Peter died up in Rome too. Right. So while this is gone, most of the apostles already had left. They out there teaching. That's a rough time. So right after Christ, they start going out teaching. Right. You know what I mean? Then you become, like the enemy of your own people. Boy, of course. And okay, they're teaching about this one God and that Caesar ain't God, or, right. Whoever it is. And you can be brought back, but there's a God that gave you redemption. But them, they don't want that. You have to obey and worship the emperor. Right. You know what happened when he went, they got mad at him about the goddess Diana. Right. All this is happening with all the stuff that we going through. The Israelites or the disciples is still out there teaching. Right. You know what I mean? I'm talking about in other parts of the country. Right. You know what I mean? Come on. So, other parts of the world, I should say. Because they went to go get them brothers. Right. They went to go out there and teach. Like Christ said, go into them cities. Come on. And finally, James, the first that had obtained the episcopal seat in Jerusalem after the ascension of our Savior, died in the manner already described. But the rest of the apostles who had been incessantly plotted against with a view to their destruction had been driven out of the land of Judea, went unto all nations to preach the gospel. They out there teaching. Come on. Relying upon the power of Christ, who had said to them, "Go ye and make disciples of all the nations in my name." But the people of the church in Jerusalem had been commanded by a revelation, watch this, vouchsafed to approved men there before the war to leave the city. So they leaving now. Right. At this point of Vespasius and Titus. Come. So they leaving. Somebody must have got word to them and say, yo, remember Christ said leave out of there when you see armies start to compass Jerusalem?
Right.
Leave.
Come on. To leave the city and to dwell in a certain town of Perea called Pella,
which is closer to the going north, but closer to like on the coastline area of Israel. Like going up around Galilee, but more, I believe, west.
Let me see if I can pull it. Would that be
it would be Pete, the other one. That's the
Perea?
original. Yeah, that's the area.
Which one?
This one might. Do you see it?
Perea here.
Yeah. And they went up.
Come towards
to flee. Yeah.
Come from down here.
And Titus, if you can show, he started coming from Galilee.
From down.
Where Galilee is.
Let me see if I get one that the words is on
oh, here, right here is good, so it's clear. But the city is Pella.
Pella, right. Pella is
region,
Israel.
Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Come.
And if you notice, the Dead Sea sits here, and a lot of the wreckage was found
right there,
over by
the Qumran caves.
Right, exactly.
Right. This area here, the general talking about where they went north.
Right, they went
northeast to Perea, and then there's a city, a town in this area called Pella.
Right.
In this area here.
That's one of the areas that they went to. Of course, we know that the others went down into Egypt.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some of the Israelites.
And then Titus, he coming down from up here, from Syria.
All Syria,
down Galilee, Nazareth. He coming down, so he gonna meet them here somewhere.
Right. That's why it was a big thing of them saying, can anything good come out of Nazareth?
Right.
Because this ain't even the land of Judea. This is the tribe of I.S.U.P.K, Asher, you know what I mean? Zebulun, that area.
Come. Wow. Boy. Okay. Which one are you?
Oh no, I was just looking at it.
Okay, come. And when those that believe in Christ had come thither from Jerusalem, then as if the royal city of the Jews, then as if the royal city of the Jews and the whole land of Judea were entirely destitute of holy men, the judgment of God at length overtook those who had committed such outrages against Christ and his apostles, and totally destroyed that generation of impious men.
Right. This is coming from, you go up, it's coming from this brother here, one of the early church fathers. And he's saying this is also a payment of what they did to Christ. Read that part again.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. Like, judgment you're talking about.
Right.
Okay.
He's saying that he's saying for what they did to Christ,
this is their judgment.
This is their judgment. Because the other Israelites that was disciples was able to escape.
And they listened to him and left. But the ones who stayed, those are the ones
that was against us, right? Yeah. That was all against Christ and against the apostles after Christ died.
Come on.
It would be like a whole bunch of Christians get paid for, messing with us.
I know what you mean.
Trying to get us up off the corner.
I know exactly what you mean.
You would assume payment was from God if something happened to you.
Listen, I know exactly what you mean. If I could tell you, not last year, the year before, when I first went on to Trinidad, right? We did all the paperwork to speak in the city.
Right.
Then they come and they deny the paperwork. Right? They deny the whole thing. I went to school down there with the brother who is now the deputy mayor. I didn't know it at the time, but I started to go through the whole city council just to see, what they look like, if it's East Indians or whatever. And I said, damn, I know this cat. So I called the general. I said, I know him. I mean, we ain't homie, and still we don't talk every day. but I knew him from back then. And I know he gonna remember me. So I said, you know, should I go talk to him? He said, well, you try it, you know, what was he was. Yeah. I went in there, he remembered me everything. And then he started checking and calling around to find out who blocked this paperwork, because we did everything we were supposed to do.
Oh, right.
Come to find out, is the council, he's one of the young brothers on the council, and he's deputy mayor, and the city council, there's mostly older Israelites, and there's one other young brother who's there as a councilman.
Right.
And they rely on him to give them the opinion on what's going on in the street. And if he say good is good, they write it off. If he say bad is bad, and they scratch it off.
Okay.
And he apparently walked past the camp. Either he's a super Christian,
right, or
he support one of them fake Israelites. But he walked past the camp and went and told them we was attacking people, cursing people out, XYZ, which was a lie.
Right.
And then the brother, he ended up putting the call through, and he said, nah, that ain't true. I know that the guy's here, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And then we get to go back out. 1 year later, this nigga dropped dead. Just dropped dead. Last year, September, he just dropped dead. Everybody thought it was COVID. The report says not COVID. He just dropped dead from some sickness he had. Dead. And he's young. I mean, probably like early 30s. Young.
Yeah, I see that.
And it was on the front page of the papers. Like, so-and-so councilman mysteriously dead.
Lord,
I'm like,
out.
Galawang, he hit me one time. He said, remember him? I said, who is this? He said, this is the councilman who said we, shouldn't speak on that.
And he lied on it.
And lied on
it.
us.
He lied too.
And lied on
heavy,
us.
Heavy.
I was like, boy, I said, Galawang, that's the Lord right there.
Yeah, the Lord will put our enemies to death.
Come on, council.
You know what I mean? Especially the prayers that
they be sending up.
Yeah, that thing is real.
Come on. Let me, you want to read this over again?
Yeah. You can read, yeah.
And when those that believed in Christ had come thither from Jerusalem, then as if the royal city of the Jews and the whole land of Judea were entirely destitute of holy men, the judgment of God at length overtook those who had committed such outrages against Christ and his apostles, and totally destroyed that generation of impious men.
Right.
Come on. So that was their punishment.
Right. You see, there's a little bit more. Let me see. But we can go into the next. Let me see. Yeah, there's more. I think this is the one I wanted. Let me read. Give me one quick second, Bashak. I'm trying to because
just I see how you're saying Most High in Christ. Just to make it clear, we don't pray for no Israelite to die.
Right. I'm gonna just tell you, I forgot where I got it at. Salakia, y'all.
No sweat, sir.
But in the time of them coming around Jerusalem,
right,
surpassing with the armies,
right,
they was letting the Israelites go in, but wasn't letting them come out. You know why? It was the time of the Passover. It was around the time of the Passover. Let me see it.
Let me see if we can find it. It's right here or it's in here?
So, and in, I don't know if it's in here. I was reading on how the Passover was being held in Jerusalem. You know, how they had to have so many people working around the clock. Mm-hmm. They had the priests, they had shifts. You know what I mean?
Right.
They had shifts. They've said it might be, each Passover might be 3 million people.
Damn.
Coming in through the temple.
Houston, we have a problem. Listen, I'm trying to tell you.
And I was like, man. And I said, 3 million people. And you know, they all going, but it was well organized. And you know who organized most of it? King David. In the scriptures. I'll deal with that later, but it was in the scriptures how he set certain things in order for how it's supposed to go. Yeah, you know, so that they all can do a specific job, just the way we have it with our Passover council.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I had to read up on it, and I was like, wow, okay. I'm like, everything we do
is biblical.
This is biblical. Everything.
Yep.
I was like, damn, wow.
That's
Lord.
amazing.
Shit.
Amazing.
Let me,
we write up on the time.
Yeah, man. Let me get one more,
No,
man.
sir.
I gotta get. I'm gonna do the last one. I'm gonna skip. Go to
59.
shit. Let me see. Nah, go past that. I think it's like let's see 65 or 66. Go to 66. Let's see what page 66 have. Yeah, we're gonna go there.
Which one you want to do?
Right up here. I believe it's right.
From here?
Yeah.
All right. For no sooner had Simon consolidated his authority over the rest of the rebel groups than Titus appeared at the city gates with 4 Roman legions in tow, demanding Jerusalem's immediate surrender.
Simon was one of the brothers that was in charge of the revolt. There was 3 groups that took control of the whole entire city of Jerusalem.
Right.
One of them started to parade himself as Messiah. All right. Go ahead. So Titus rolls up on the scene. Go ahead.
All at once, the factionalism and factionalism and feuding amongst the Jews gave way to frantic preparations for the impending Roman assault.
So they beefing with each other,
right,
the groups.
As they're breaking up, right.
But the Romans is around Jerusalem.
And they're coming in.
And they just setting up. Right, go ahead.
But Titus was in no hurry to attack. Just like a predator, he waited. Instead, he ordered his men to build a stone wall around Jerusalem, trapping everyone inside and cutting off all access to food and water. He then set up camp on the Mount of Olives, from which he had an unobstructed view of the city's population as they slowly starved to death. I want my revenge here. Salaki.
Of course, there's more in the book, but our time is running out. You know what I mean? Revenge. I looked at this book and I said, yo, that's where America get all that from.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
That was the way they treated the Native American Indians.
And they ain't wasted no resources.
You know what I mean?
They ain't wasted one man, not one man had to sweat. Build this wall and let them starve.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is devious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he watching. He wants to watch.
Yeah. And then it goes into how they were eating their belts, eating the babies. And then with the Sakari, when they ran, they had a beef.
Right.
So the Sakari ran up Masada because the other 2 groups was trying to kill him. So that's why he winds up in Masada. So after Rome does this, they go to Masada in 73 AD.
Because he going up there. That's where the guns and stuff is, right?
And they already went and got it.
They guns. Right. I'm saying guns,
know,
but
right.
the weapons.
Yeah, they already had that
Right.
on the first time in 66.
Right.
But he runs from them, Simon and them, to Masada because they was trying to kill him.
Right.
So he brings the group and goes up Masada. Romans finally finished with Jerusalem, destroy it, burn it. They can see it from Masada.
Right.
They come around and surround Masada. They do the same thing. And then Sakari says, yo, one of the leaders says, oh, this is what we're going to do. He gave a speech. He said, the last man kills himself. I'm going to kill you. Don't worry about it. And they was all with it.
Damn. Fuck that, man.
Because you know what? They didn't want to go.
They want to starve, or they don't want to.
No, they were starving already. They didn't want them to kill them. They knew they had nowhere to go.
Oh, I see.
It's like going into a tower or a part of a mountain and you have no access to get out.
I see what you're saying.
It wasn't raining, so you needed water. Wasn't no food coming in, so they decided to kill themselves.
And the Romans, they ain't gonna just
and
kill
then
you.
The last man, matter of fact, he would kill you, and then he killed himself, and that's what they did.
Because they didn't want to fall in the hands of the Romans to get tortured and boiled.
And boiled and all that. So it was an easier way to go out. You know.
I'm getting this book, yo. I'm getting this book, boy. Mukwash, bring the book back out. You had 2 weeks to read it, or 3 weeks, or however long.
Yeah, it's a couple more I'm trying to look.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back into it.
All right, with that, I'm gonna just say, yo, Shalom, YAHANNA. And I'm gonna give the salute to Commander General Yahanna for raising everybody up, keeping this truth going. That's why I'm here. You know what I mean? Through the spirit of the Most High Christ, that he kept this thing alive. I know it was hard work for him. You know what I mean? And the generals, General Muhammad, General Mayak, General Haas, at the water for General Haas, General Sharma, and General Q, and the captains that be rolling with me so long. You know what I mean? We done been to war and all that. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I'm gonna say Shalom, YAHANNA.